Oh, wow. You guys got a good amount. Um, so we will probably spend about 30 minutes because where's there we go. All right. Yeah, so we'll probably spend about 30-40 minutes because the review it's not very long unless you guys have questions, of course. Um, so before we get into what to expect on the exam, just keep in mind we do not have class next week. However, I will have help desk open Tuesday and Thursday as usual, and you are free to drop in. For the final exam, it's actually not open yet. I was going to open it, but when I looked at the grade book today, we are missing, I would say 99% of the class has not yet submitted the night journal. So I was not comfortable with opening the exam for everyone yet. So it's still closed. Once I start seeing those journals come in, then I will open it. The night assignment, 6 point, the personal response. Sorry, it's not technically a journal. The personal response to your reading. So it's 3 to 4 paragraphs. I wouldn't call it an essay, and it's not really a journal. It's kind of like in between. So once I start seeing those rolling in, then I'll feel a little bit more comfortable with opening up the exam because I just don't want anyone to open the exam, take it, and then I have to give you a 0 on your other assignments. Like I don't want to have to do that. So I'll probably open it by maybe Thursday or Friday, definitely by Friday. So if you don't see it open on Thursday, don't fret. It will be opened on Friday. But just be sure that you have all other assignments in before you open the exam. Your assignments don't have to be graded in order for you to take your exam. So don't feel like you have to wait for me to grade your Unit 6 stuff before you take it. Okay? Just make sure that you have it submitted. And that also includes any missing Class Connect participation points. Again, go through and make sure that you have your points. If you're missing something, remember that anything after the 10 you can use to replace any of your missing live classes or your Class Connect points. So you just need to say, hey, I attended live on January 18th. That's all you need to do. Submit it to that particular Class Connect assignment folder to get the points for that. So the 3 to 4 paragraph essay, you are going to interpret and describe how Ellie's faith is affected by his experiences. So it's not really anything and everything. There's a specific question there that you need to write on. Okay, so there's also quizzes that you guys have to finish up. It looked like there was, a lot of them are missing as well, so don't forget about those. Any questions regarding anything mentioned so far? So as you're looking through it, or reading through the story, just try to keep in mind how his faith, how it started and how it's going throughout, reaches the climax and then how it falls and then how it ends. No worries. Oh, we were talking about the personal response, the Unit 6 assignment. So you're going to write about how Ellie's faith is affected by his experiences. Okay, so what to expect on your test. And we went over this a little bit last week. Um, no worries, but I just wanted to um, give you guys a little bit of a reminder on what to expect so you're not like, what is this? um, so there's 35 questions on the multiple choice. It looks pretty much identical to all of your unit tests. A few more questions, but it's the same type of setup. There's no surprises there. However, it's worth a lot more. So it's worth 185 points total for the multiple choice. I will say this about the semester test, the multiple choice. It is, yes, it's very similar. However, the questions are way better. Meaning they're very straightforward and the answer choices are just so much better. You are not going to be stuck with this answer and this answer are can both be applied to this question and be correct, where a lot of the unit tests have that and it's frustrating that it marks you wrong. Um, you're not going to see that on the final exam, in my opinion. When I took this exam, and I take it every year just to, have it fresh in the mind and see what you guys are going through and experiencing. When I went through it, it was just very cut and dry, and I think that you guys will have less arguing to do for this than you have for your unit tests. Exactly. The unit tests are very unclear, and I 100% agree with you on that. There are grammar questions. They are, and it's flipped this time. Usually on your unit test, you'll see the grammar questions at the very end. On your semester test, they're at the beginning, but there aren't that many. And of course, it's going to depend on the version that you get because there's multiple versions. But I think there are maybe 3, possibly 4. Could be a couple more throughout. There weren't very many from what I remember. Okay, so maybe 4. Oh, wait, 5, 6. There's 6. That is correct. You have to submit all assignments first before you can open up your exam. It should take you approximately 40 minutes, but again, you can go over that. You're not going to be kicked out. You're not timed. Nothing is taken off if you go over the 40 minutes. The passages are pretty long, so I expect it to take you closer to an hour to do part 1 than 40 minutes. Really not a good estimate. Yeah, I mean, if that's the strategy that you used for your semester, not your semester, but your unit test, then absolutely stick with that strategy if it worked for you. If you did something else for your unit test, then I would stick with that strategy, because if that was working for you, then keep doing that. Okay. So then part 2 is, of course, just like your unit test. Um, you have the short answer, you have the questions, and then the short answers. There's 4 questions instead of the 2 to 3 that you normally see. They're passage based. You will be asked to identify theme or characterization, figurative language, and also to analyze the argument. So all the answers should be about 2 paragraphs, as you can see here. So the ones that are a little longer, 2 to 3, are worth a little bit more. Numbers 1 and 4, and then questions 2 and 3 are worth 15 points each, and they're 1 to 2 paragraphs. All right, so just be sure when you are going through and answering part two, the questions in part two, that you are maybe like highlighting, just be sure that you're answering all parts of the question. Okay. Any questions? I saw a hand raised, but then I think it was Stephen, and then you put it down. Do you have a question?
I was just wondering, are there any grammar questions where like they integrate them with the passage? Like for example, you might have a passage and then it'll take one of the sentences out of the passage and say like, what phrase is used here or something? Are there? I saw a couple of those on the unit test. Are there going to be those? Are those going to be there in the final?
No. That's a great question, but no, it's more of the sentences are pretty random. They're not based on the passages.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so what to study, what to review, some things to look at. Go back and just refresh your memory on these short stories. Well, these short stories, the sonnets and poetry, and then also, obviously, this night will be fresh in your memory because you're reading it now. So think about the genres, some of the significant literary devices that are used. Yes, you definitely want to refresh your memory. You don't want to have to go back and on the day of the final and reread everything. You know, it's going to take you too long. So go back, refresh your memory and it's for part two. Part one, you are going to have passages already, they're not, part one does not have questions based on these works of literature. It'll be completely new passages that you'll have to read and analyze. However, part two is going to ask you about some of these. No worries. You can skip that one. Correct. Without the without it, yeah. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. So I'll just go ahead and tell you guys. For question one, you're going to be asked to analyze the road not taken. This is for part two. Okay. For question two, you're going to be asked to analyze the egg. For part three, or question three, you will actually be given an excerpt from 12 Years a Slave, and then you will be asked to analyze that. So you won't have to take from memory. And then question four, you are going to be asked to analyze Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death. So it's really good to read through these and not necessarily reread the short stories, because you do not have to do that. But what you want to do is think about some of the information that you learned regarding these short stories including the genre and the literary devices used and the impact of those literary devices on the text as a whole, because then you can apply them to these stories that are mentioned in the final exam. So for number 4, it's the whole speech. So if you want to get a jump start on that and think about, some of the literary devices, specifically the rhetorical devices for, speaking arguments, persuasive speaking, definitely go through and review that. Give me liberty or give me death. Okay. And I'm going to circle back to the part 1 because I don't want to give you guys any wrong information, especially with the different versions of the test. Okay. Yes, so you will actually read Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death in part 1. Okay. All right. Okie doke. So some more things to study. We have narrative writing, descriptive writing, persuasive writing, and comparing and contrasting mediums. So for narrative writing, look back on the story arc, the exposition, the rising action, climax, and so forth, because there are specific questions regarding that, specifically the exposition. What information is given in the exposition? So if you don't know what exposition means, you won't be able to figure out what information was given there. So that's an example. And then some of the techniques, including flashbacks, foreshadowing, theme, etc. You want to go back and review, and I know this was a long time ago, but you want to go back and review the impact of those literary devices. And then, of course, as I just mentioned, the persuasive writing and persuasive speaking, literary arguments, and some of the things that are incorporated there and their impact on the work as a whole. And then comparing and contrasting mediums, that's pretty self-explanatory. Kind of have like the video with the written text. What does this do as opposed to this one? And then some grammar concepts that you can review. So we have independent and dependent clauses, the adjective, adverb, and prepositional phrases, noun and verb phrases, and participle and absolute phrases. The best way to review these is to look back at your previous quizzes and tests because they look very similar. And again, it's just a few questions on those. I feel like they're very straightforward, and I don't think you guys will have any issue with that. All right, any questions? I will. Another thing, which I should have put in here, you're going to get a lot of tone questions. What's the tone and how does the tone impact this particular part of the text? What's the mood and so forth? So be thinking along those lines as well. Yes, it will. So if you need credit in one of the past classes, just be sure that you write something in the assignment folder that you need credit for. I attended today, or I attended on 118. So one question, for example, which statement best compares the essay's tone to the video's tone? And that's with the comparing and contrasting mediums. That's just one tone question. There's another tone question that's specific to a poem. What else? What else? Think about theme. Remember, theme is kind of like an overarching idea. It's more broad than it is specific. We have the impact of flashback. How does that affect the message? There's a question on diction. Remember, diction is word choice. You're welcome. All right, so that concludes our review for the final. If you guys don't have any questions, you are free to go. If you would like to stay and do a Jeopardy game on night, it's a night review, then you are more than welcome to stay and we can do it. If not, you're definitely free to go. Yes, I can. I will save it as a PDF and then post it into our group chat. You're welcome. Yes, in Skype. You're welcome. Have a great week. You're welcome. Okay, so me and you are going to play Jeopardy. All right, so it won't be teams because it'll just be you because I know the answers. So it won't be fair, but it'll be a nice review.
Yeah, we can still see how much of it I can get.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be team. You can be team A and B, 1 and 2. Let me see. I always have to figure out screen share. Oh, here we go. I think it's that one. Yep. All right. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm actually going to pull it out. There we go.
Okay, so you want me to go?
Yep. So you're going to
Okay.
pick a category and an amount.
Okay. Events 500.
Events 500. Okay, it happens to be sick prisoners who stay behind in the infirmary when the camp is evacuated. So when you answer, you have to say what is or
Okay.
who is.
What is liberation?
Yay! Okay, next one.
Okay. People 500.
The violinist who plays one last concerto before dying.
Who is Juliet?
Yay!
Uh,
Oh, you're muted.
yeah. Eli Wiesel 500.
The number that was tattooed on Ellie's arm.
I don't know this one.
This is very specific, right?
Okay. I at least knew the 7-7 part.
Right.
But this isn't gonna be on the test, is it?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not.
Vocab 500. This is gonna be hard.
No, I think the vocab ones are the easiest ones.
To serve as a source of comfort.
Mhm.
There's a lot of words.
Starts with a C.
See. Condolence. Console. Okay, what is console?
Good job.
Thanks. Okay, themes 500.
Many prisoners face this inner conflict in their struggle to survive in such dehumanizing and horrible conditions. Ugh.
It could be.
Dehumanizing. I don't know why I can't say that today.
I mean, it could be dehumanization or like survival versus caring for others. It could be a number of things. Yeah, or it could be despair versus hope versus despair, or faith versus despair, or yeah, it could be a number of things. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It's kind of, I mean, that's one of. You named a lot, which I'm going to give it to you.
Thanks. Okay, events 400. I want to know what that's going to be.
What Mrs. Schachter hallucinates.
What is fire?
Yay.
Eli Wiesel 400.
The study of Jewish mysticism.
It's either Kabbalah or something like that. That's my guess.
Yay.
Yeah. I thought it started with a K, but it's spelled the same way, so who cares?
I mean, did I spell that wrong?
I don't know, maybe there's like different ways of spelling it. There's like for a history class, I was reading a primary source, and it turns out they used to spell Korea with a C. So
Ah,
I don't know.
yeah, you're right. That's my bad.
It's pronounced the same way. So
That's true. Did I give you those points? I don't remember. All right. Oh, you're muted.
themes 400.
It can help people through difficult times.
What is faith? What is hope?
Yay. Good job.
What is people? Gosh. Okay, people
People before.
400. Sorry. The Kroll Capo. Oh, what? Okay. I think it starts with a K. It does not. Okay. If this was a multiple choice, that might have happened. But
Oh, goodness.
okay.
I forget this guy's name as well.
I just forget names too. I just happened to remember Juliet.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I don't even remember Eli Father's name. I just remember him as the father.
Mm-hmm. I mean, as long as you remember like the main character.
Yeah, no, I remember what happened to him and stuff, but his name, he just doesn't refer to him by name at all.
Right.
Okay, vocab 400. What is dysentery?
Yes.
Okay, events 300. What is a gold crown?
Yay.
Eli Wiesel 300. On the eve of Rosh Hashanah. I know that he feels that he's an outsider. He feels himself that he's like accusing God of not seeing his people and what's happening to them. And he feels like an outside observer from all the people praying. And he doubts God's like, well, this, I don't know if this is the eve of Rosh Hashanah or not,
Mhm.
but he does doubt like God's absolute justice.
Yeah, you're right.
It's kind of interesting because it seems like he lost his faith, but also the fact that he is feeling so bad about losing his faith means that it still very important to him, and that therefore means that in a way he still believes in it.
Mhm.
Like he says that his refusal to fast was kind of a rebellion in a way, and he says that he felt a void opening when he thought that. So it shows that his faith was a very important thing in his life that filled a void that couldn't be filled once he felt he lost it.
Right. Yeah, so I think he thought he lost it, but yeah, you're right. It was still there.
I kind of wonder if he ever started to like actively pray again and stuff. Well, he did in like one of his darkest moments when he was afraid he would like betray his father. He still asked God to help him, even though he
Mhm.
thought he'd lost his faith. I don't know.
Exactly.
Themes 300. What is survival instinct? Or self-preservation? What is self-preservation?
Yep. Both of those would work. People for 3?
Yep. Who is Dr. Mangel or Mangle or however you say that?
See, you remembered that one. That name.
Yes, I've heard of this person before,
Okay.
like in a crash course history thing or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Vocab for 300. Thin, wasted, punny, gaunt, haggard, scrawny. Oh, I think it starts with like a T. It's like dip something lated. Uh, I don't know. Is dilapidated a word?
Dilapidated.
I don't know. Is that it?
You were on the right
Yeah.
track.
Emaciated. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. No. Okay, I remember this word being used now, but no, I do not remember it. Okay, events for 200. What is Auschwitz? Eli myself for 200. What is infected foot?
Good job.
Themes for 200. Necessity of what is food, hunger, nourishment?
Mm-hmm.
People for 200. Who is Moish the beetle?
Yay.
Vocab for 200. What is quarantine? I mean, we kind of tend to know that one.
Yeah, especially now. It's like fresh on our memories at this point.
Events 100. What is ghetto? What is a ghetto?
Yes. Pretty good.
Eli Wiesel for 100. Also Moish the beetle.
1 second. Oof. Very good.
What is faith?
Yeah.
Who is his father?
Yep.
What does incarceration mean?
What is it?
What does incarceration mean?
Incarceration?
Well, that word that was just there. For the previous question, I think that's what it was pronounced like.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, incarceration. Yeah, that means like prison.
Okay. So, vocab to destroy completely. Eliminate, wipe out, Is it the word that they used when they were still in Saget and people were doubting Hitler's intentions to wipe out the entire race? Was it the word that they used there? Whatever it is, because if it's annihilate,
Oh, annihilate?
yeah, annihilate.
Oops. Wait, is that one? Yep. You did really good. If you were on a team, you would have destroyed the other team.
It's my second time reading this book.
Oh, okay. I know.
Because
If like I don't like to say that this is a good book because it's a true, story. But I guess the better way to describe it is it's powerful and devastating, and it has a huge impact, and it's well written. So instead of a good book, it's a well written book, I would say.
Yeah, I feel like it's just a book that's very real, whether or not we like it being that way. So
Mhm.
everyone has to read it because
Mhm.
otherwise there's like they should read it because who knows when next time in history we'll think this is not possible. It's the 21st century, it's just gonna happen. So
Exactly.
like when's the next time we're gonna fall into that trap? So
Yep.
or like let things happen that shouldn't happen.
I agree.
Thank you for playing with me.
No problem. Thanks for staying. That was a nice review.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Um,
All right.